Through this project, I want to explore the gestural language of Bharatanatyam. So, in this project, what I wanted to do is take this gestural language or the mime language that is used and then sort of transpose those into contemporary context.
Line and the day, shop. You stop, give the Saturday.
Well, I didn't have any predetermined outcomes, basically. I went in fully aware that it's completely exploration and let's see what comes out, what material comes out, how it is to work with Kate and Wella and see what material develops really. So I didn't go in with a sort of, right, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do. It was basically, here's the idea, let's work with that. You're working with non-Bharatanatyam trained bodies, so just holding a shape is not enough because it's just a shape, but to have an absolute meaning behind any of the gestures, it's years of training, so it's finding the way in which to communicate that in the most efficient way.
Hi, my name is Wella Fraser-Musi and been working with Shambhu on a devised piece which has to do with cultural identity, shedding cultural identity and shedding personal identity. Everything was so clean. It looked spotless. There were so many people there, laughing, screaming. The funny thing is, I couldn't understand a word of what they were saying because of their accents. It's been a very interesting process because it has been very open. There wasn't so much a directorial head. I think we were all equal in terms of contribution, just ideas and all of us being, performers, as it were. I'm predominantly an actor, and it was very interesting for me working with contemporary dancers and Bharatanatyam dancers. And I suppose trying to form a fusion or a sort of a cultural hybrid between the three styles of performance. The piece has been very interesting in that way, so it's meant being quite personal in our approach, going into our own personal stories and making those sort of devising pieces around those, devising the actual pieces using text, devising movement through those, and again using the Bharatanatyam as part of the process. It's about breaking form. We broke the Bharatanatyam. We were wearing shoes in some of them, and in Bharatanatyam you're not supposed to wear any shoes. But we use some of the gestures using using some text, and in Bharatanatyam you don't use any text whatsoever. It's physical based. In fact, it's gestural. Contemporary dance, we fuse the contemporary dance with the gestures, and then we bring in some African dance and capoeira in there as well. So it's trying to find a sort of, kind of like a mixed cultural hybrid of all these things. And within that, exploring what does it mean to actually be British. We might come in on day one, rehearse, come up with something, and then come back on the second day, completely let it go. So we're just churning out ideas, churning out as many ideas as we can. What we also had to fight against were our own rigid perceptions of what dance is, what theatre is, and I guess what Bharatanatyam is. So it was hard. It was hard to think like a dancer and for dancers to think like actors. Because as an actor, I think a lot of stuff you can easily internalize and communicate using smaller features, smaller gestures, whereas dancers really want to, express what they're feeling physically and in a bigger space. And I hope that, people can see past those set ideas of what dance is or what theatre is and kind of see what we're trying to do.
My name's Kate Samira Mummery, and I'm a contemporary dancer. I've worked with Shane previously on another project, but it was quite interesting this time to work with an actor and also Shane, who has done acting, contemporary dance, and also bring to the table Bharatanatyam, which is his traditional dance. What I've learnt from this process is that having more of the theatre side, the acting side involved, it makes the movement have meaning and purpose to it more. So, because contemporary dance can just be very flat. You don't always have to talk to act. So, and it becomes much more natural and human-like when you add in the acting side, because contemporary dance is generally okay, I'm here sort of thing, and not really have that much emotion to it. So it brings the extra level of emotion and feeling to it. I've learned that you just really need to not be conscious of yourself and throw yourself into it 100% and just sort of be you, but also adopt a real self-confidence that you can just chuck yourself into it and just enjoy it. But sometimes the best things come out when you don't know what you're doing. I really enjoyed not just working with pure dancers. I really enjoyed sort of seeing how maybe other people work. I thought that we all worked well together and we all were very serious even though we had a laugh and stuff, but very serious about the process and where we're going. And I think it wasn't just like Shane was in charge and then we were under him in a sense. It was very much very equal, which I think is very good for a process like this.